everyone, my name is Jen Wagner. I'm the assistant winemaker here at Chapter Winery, and today is Saturday, which means you guys get a behind the scenes look at what I do being the assistant winemaker. Now, I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time, so I'm excited to teach you guys the way that I taste wine. It's one of my favorite parts of my job. I have to taste the wine to make sure that it's good. So I wanted to show you guys how I do it so that you can get the most out of your glass of wine at home. Now, the first thing I do, and this is something not a lot of people think about, is I take my empty glass and I smell it. Because sometimes you'll have a sample of wine and think that it smells a little bit soapy. And you'll think to yourself, or at least I do, maybe there was a little bit of soap in the glass when I started. So first thing I do is I want to make sure that the glass that I'm about to pour my wine in doesn't have any smell to begin with. This one smells great. Secondly, I'm going to pour my wine. Now, I like to pour no higher than the halfway point, and we'll get to why in a minute. But I'm just going to pour a little bit for now because I don't need a whole lot to taste. You should be able to taste the wine within 2 to 3 sips to really get all the aromas that you need to judge the wine. And at that point, it's just further enjoyment on your part. So when I have my glass of wine, first thing I'm going to do, the most important thing, is to swirl the glass. Now, you see a lot of people do these in movies and in music videos, and it looks really cool. But I tell you, there's a big important reason why you swirl the glass, and it's not just to look cool. What you're doing is you're getting all the aroma into the glass. The wine, and especially the alcohol, is going to slowly evaporate over time, and the more surface area that you give, the faster it'll evaporate. So after swirling the glass, the aroma of the air inside the glass is going to have a lot more smell than if you skip this step. So definitely give your glass a really, really good swirl. And that's why you don't want to fill it more than halfway, because you're going to spill your glass, and nobody wants to spill their wine. So go ahead and give it a really, really good swirl, and then you have to smell it. By the way, I didn't mention, this is Wedded Bliss. This is a wine that we make that's a dry red. It's a 50-50 blend of Cabernet Sauvignon and Marquette, which is a Minnesota-grown grape from our own vineyard. And when you smell the wine, you're getting a lot of aromas that you wouldn't normally get if you rely on your mouth and your tongue only. Taste and smell are very, very different. You can only taste 5 things. And those things are salty, sweet, sour, bitter, and umami. And umami is a strange one, but it's just a general meatiness that is a taste along with the other tastes. But anything else that you get out of your wine that's not one of those 5 tastes is a smell. And those would be pineapple, blackberry, raspberry, tobacco, blackcurrant, any of these wonderful aromas that are going to make you enjoy your glass of wine even more. You're getting that through your nose. And so taking a sniff of the wine before you taste it is going to help your brain understand all of the complex flavors that your tongue can't quite figure out. The next step is to take a sip of the wine and then aerate it within your mouth. And the reason for that is to go up the back of your throat and into your nose. So you can actually smell that way too. You can have the aromas go in through the front of your nose, or you can have the aromas go in from the back of your nose. It's the same spot where if you have a runny nose, it'll go down your throat. So we want to utilize that. And it's not the best way if you have a cold. So that's why it's going to be a lot harder to taste wine if you have a cold and your nose is all plugged up, because you're not able to get all of those aromas. So I will go ahead and demonstrate. Swirl, sniff, and sip. You'll notice I had a little intake of air right there. That'll help aerate the wine in your mouth. Swish it around a little bit, make sure it coats your entire mouth, your entire tongue, and then you can go ahead and swallow it and enjoy. Now, one thing that I like to point out is that you don't do this with beer. If you're enjoying a pint of beer, it's not very typical to swirl. And the reason for that is because beer has carbonation. So all those bubbles are raising to the top, and they're essentially doing the swirl job for you. With wine, still wine, there's no bubbles in it, and so we have to do that step ourselves by swirling it. All right, guys. Enjoy your glass of Next Chapter wine at home. If you'd like to drink it the way that I do, now you know how. But I personally believe there's no wrong way to drink wine. So, cheers to you guys. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And don't forget our curbside pickup is open from 10 to 6 daily. Go ahead and give the winery a call and place your order and we'll have it ready for you. Thanks, guys. See you next week.